Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Justy.
And together we're losing it.
We both lost over 100 pounds by developing healthy habits.
And I also had weight loss surgery and used a GLP-1 medication.
And I used a GLP-1 medication and had skin removal surgery.
We're really passionate about helping people learn to live a healthy lifestyle by sharing our experiences.
But we're not doctors, so if you have questions, reach out to your medical team. And you may see our mascot Sancho pop up from time to time.
And all three of us hope that you find our content useful.
Welcome back, friends. It's been a while. We've been on a bit of a break. As Justy, most of you know, Justy had skin removal surgery, her second round, so she's back and feeling a bit better, and enough energy to record and, and give us some good content.
Right.
So as you can see, the girls are
girls are girling.
Girls are looking right at us if you're watching us on not quite like that. She's got clothes on, but if you're watching us on YouTube, the girls are up and at them. So it's impressive. But yeah. So today we're going to talk about our goals, our 2024 goal, because we're well past third quarter. So it's our third quarter check-in.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're about a month past it. What are you going to do? Life
we were
happens.
going to record when I was in the hospital, but that wasn't going to happen. And then my first week back, I didn't have like my mom's help like I did the last time, so that wasn't going to happen either. So I needed some extra time, which is okay.
Yeah. It is okay for sure. So that being said, I guess we'll dive right in. I pulled them up because you already know short-term memory. We have our joint goal, which was intentional self-care, discussed on our bi-weekly podcast, which we have been discussing it.
Yeah.
And I think we sometimes have a little trouble like thinking about, because we're good to ourselves as it is anyway.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know, what did I do? And so I'll just say lately, because I've been really focused on like family and this business that we started and my regular job and just juggling a lot. And I realized that this is the time when it's really important to focus on self-care, because it's very easy to let it slide. And so some of the things I've been doing, it's been a while since we recorded, but I definitely went and got a pedicure because I've been doing my own, because we have a financial goal down the road. And that was one of the things, like, I don't get my nails done anymore. And I don't know that I ever will, because are actually the healthiest they've ever been. So I just file them and keep them look like they're a pretty good length all on their own. So I take care of them myself, but my feet, I'll do them. But every once in a while, you gotta pay somebody to get in there. And so I paid somebody to get in there the other day, about a month ago, I guess it was. And I'm definitely due, but I think my thought was I'm gonna hold off and do it because we go away in a couple weeks for bariatric retreat, and I'm gonna do it before we go there. So we'll do that again.
What? Let's not tell each other what color we're getting and see if we get the same color again, because that's what we always do.
Okay. We do. I already know what color I'm getting though.
I do too.
I've mentally prepared it.
Okay. All right. That's funny.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll report back. So that I definitely, like, I went a really long time without dyeing my hair, and I just did it a couple weeks ago. I do my own hair too, because I don't do like highlights or anything. And my friend Kim is she does hair, and she kind of taught me how to do it. So I know how to mix. I don't buy like box dye. I mix the developer and everything. So she taught me how to do it, get my little scale out. I have the little mixing cup and everything. And then I just do it myself. But I get grays terribly, like here and here. And so, and then every once in a while, like a stray will come out from up here. So I do it myself. And I did that, and I'm gonna do that again before we go. So I'm gonna be all fresh and ready for you when I see you.
Yes.
So I've just been trying to do little things like that, because sometimes I'll get to a point, and I'm sure other women are this way too, because I'm married, I have a family, and sometimes you're like, oh well, so I have some grays, like he knows I have gray hair, or like I'll start to think like it doesn't matter, like I don't need to shave. Married, But then it's like, well, how unsexy is that? You know, like I'm
Right.
just gonna be like, meh, whatever. I'm not gonna get these feet done. You know, well, it's like, and all along, I don't know that I ever did that to attract a man. I think I always did it for myself, just because I like to feel good about myself. But then there's just a piece of me that's like, meh, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not trying to reel anybody in. And then I'm like, well, no, this is for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm like, I had to bring myself back to it. So I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff, or just like extra like lotion that like feels really good, or like I would like seek out something different that like feels really good. So I found this one EOS brand. I don't, you know that
Hmm.
brand? They've
Yeah.
got a really good shower shave
Yeah.
cream.
I use that. Hmm.
I do too, and I love
Yeah.
it. And then they have this lotion that smells like a miracle and it feels so good. So when after I shower, I put that on. It's the same purple bottle, but it's like butter cocoa butter shea, something. I don't know what it is, but I love it and it smells great. And so I've been just making sure that I like take the time to like do those little things, because it's easy to just be like, meh, nobody's seeing it anyway. Like, who cares? Like, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not why we do these things. So I've been really trying to just put a little bit extra focus on myself. Or like we were talking before we got on here, Justy had suggested to me um, Firefly Lane as a show to watch, because she did a little bit of binge watching while she's been laid up. And she knows the types of things that I like. We know each other well enough. We cook the same food when we're not around
Right.
each other. And so I started watching that. And so now that's kind of like my guilty pleasure, where all along I'm like, I don't really have time to watch TV, but it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You do have time. So like I was curled up right over here last night. I fell asleep watching it. I have to go back and so I find time when I'm by myself. Chelsea's with her mom or somewhere else. My husband's at work and it's my time. And I'm like, I find my little spot here. So I've been trying to find little things that just little things that bring me joy, where I don't feel like I'm always having to like work or work on the side job, or like I don't have to go to every soccer practice. I don't have to do all the things. So I try to like reel it back in and do some things for myself. So I've been trying. I'm not really good at it because I'm a caretaker. I'm way
Hmm.
better at taking care of other people than myself. But I've
Yeah.
been really trying. So
I'm opposite because I don't have any husband or kids or anything like that. I mean, I have Sancho. So I have
yeah,
lots of time to take care of myself. And up until my surgery, I was doing really good. I always, the thing is that I do take care of myself. I get manicures, pedicures, facials, massages, all the things. And so that's my normal routine. But outside of my normal routine, I just ordered actually because I have a fireplace, like a wood burning fireplace at my house. So I just ordered wood to get delivered because I want to have a fire. And I ordered some candles because I'm not obviously I just started driving 2 days ago, so I'm not trying to be out and about. So I ordered some candles because I just want to set like an ambiance in my house since I've been stuck in here. So I think that's
right.
self-love or self-care. And obviously, I just had a whole ass skin removal surgery and I've got, new legs, new boobs, new butt, new back. So that I think that takes the trophy for the year for me.
Right. Yeah.
So I've been doing good on the self-love, self-care. I started using this facial lotion. It's called Skin Better Science, I think it is, and it's just amazing on my face. It's a little higher end, but it just makes me feel good, kind of like you with your lotion. So I invested in that. I decided I was going to go that route instead of Botox and fillers. So
Good choice.
right, yeah. So stuff like that. So I'm doing really good with that. So yeah, I think we're both doing decent with the self-care, self-love.
And I'm gonna skip a goal to go to the next goal, because these two kind of play into each other. So our activity goal, I found that I don't love running. I do it for the health benefits of it. I do it for the kind of competitiveness of it, and more so competitive with myself than anything. Um, because I'm obviously not out like winning any races, but I really wanted to get like to like a 10-minute mile. And I've gotten close. We did a 1 mile race, 4th of July, and I got to like 10:23, I want to say. And then over the summer, at some point in time, I just was like, it was too hot. And I don't know, I switched gears over to more like weight training. And it's kind
Yay.
of, and it's kind of one of those things where that's why I say like the self-care type of thing. It's almost like, yes, I set this goal of running 24 miles a month because at the time that I set the goal, I was running a lot. But then I
Mhm.
kind of came to a place where I was like, I feel like I want to build more muscle. Something in me was like telling me like I want to build more muscle and not just be cardio all the time. And but then there's a part of me that's like, well, you have this goal to run 24 miles a month. So it was like this tug of war. And I was like, you know what though? Nobody's holding a gun to my head saying I have to run 24 miles a month. Yes, I put it down. Yes, I speak about it here and I do that for accountability purposes, but I don't have to run
Mhm.
24 miles a month. And I think part of self-care is listening to yourself when you have now, if I was like, I don't want to run anymore and I just stopped and I didn't exercise at all, that's probably not the right direction to go. But I
Yeah.
stopped running as much. I still do it. Um, and I've started going to like 3, sometimes 4 different classes a week.
Don't you love
So
classes?
I
I'm
do.
such
And
a, I've been a class girl forever.
yeah, I was
Strength
always like,
training.
you in those damn classes. I'm like, he's like, but you have to be there at like a certain time. And that's the part he doesn't like, that you have to like be held to like this time that you gotta be on. I'm like, right.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not held to that time, then I don't go. Or I'll be
And
like, yeah,
you
I'll go for a little
build
bit.
you build relationships.
Yeah.
And for me,
Yeah.
it's kind of like if I miss the people in the class are like, "Oh, we missed you last week." And I'm like, "Damn it." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's
Same.
kind of like it holds me accountable and I'm competitive with other people. I'm not competitive with myself. So I always want to do better. I always want to lift the weights of the men, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think, like you kind of touched on a little bit, but self love, part of self love and self care is giving yourself grace to change, to
Right.
pivot. I mean, that
Yeah.
if it's not working out, if something comes along to block you, you just pivot to something else.
Right.
You don't stop going.
Right.
You have to go around things sometimes. And your pivot was, you know what? I'm not into running right now, but I need physical activity, so I'm going to pivot and do the strength thing, which I think is
Right.
perfect.
Which is hard. It's hard to, because you and I both like, we pretty much hit our goals like all the time in work and whatever. It's this, we're just goal driven in general. So it's really hard for me to like make that decision and to like be okay with it. Cause in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, but my goal was 24 miles, but I know I can't do that. I just don't have, there's not enough time in the day for me to do that and give an hour to, one of these classes every day too. So I'm like, I don't think I can do that. And life on top of that, because we have a very active child and just this now the business thing kicked up and like just time for myself too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be okay with it. Yes, that's what that says. And like you had mentioned, maybe because I told Justy the other day, I was like, I took a page out of your book and I did my class and then I went to the treadmill and I did a mile on the treadmill. So
Mm-hmm.
when I have the time to, and I don't always have the time to because I drop her off to school at 8:30, I'm sorry, at 8 o'clock. My class is at 8:30, it goes till 9:30, and then sometimes I have a meeting at work at 9:30, so I'll have to like skip the cool down
Mm-hmm.
or the stretch or whatever in class so I can get out and get to work in time for my 9:30 that I have every other Wednesday. So I can't do it those days. So it's like it's okay. So you can't like I know that, but I know ahead of time every other Wednesday I'm not going to be able to do that run. Or if something else, I have a job, it pays the bills. I can't just be like, okay, I'm not
Right.
joining that meeting today. So I still have to do those things. But the thing is, like Jesse said, I didn't just stop. I pivoted, and I still have an activity. And my goal is to do now that after talking to Justy, I would say like half of those amount of miles and um at least 2 to 3 classes a week, which I do. I
Yeah.
probably do more than that. I do at least 2 and sometimes 4 or 5 because
And
my gym offers so many of them.
mm-hmm.
And I just really enjoy them. Sometimes it's hard because I have to do them in the morning in order to do other stuff that we have at night. So it's whatever, but yeah,
And
That goal has pivoted for me.
my
Excuse me.
physical one was walking a mile, which actually my walking turned into running a couple times a week, just because honestly, if I run the mile on the treadmill, it gets done
You get
quicker.
done faster.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm done in like 13 minutes instead of 18 minutes, and that 5 minutes is something. So,
Right.
and so I do that. And then, of course, walking Sancho, we have a 1 mile route that we go on. But I haven't done that since my surgery, obviously. I'm hoping to get back to it next week, just the 1 mile walk with Sancho, maybe even a half-mile walk. I'll probably start with walking around the block. We walked to the mailbox the other day and I walked to the trash can. So, I'm just building it up.
And there's no speed there. There's no, it could
No,
take you,
yeah,
an hour to do that
yeah.
mile.
Yeah, and so as long as the doctor will clear me to do that, what's crazy though is like walking, which I guess we'll talk about it in the next podcast. We're going to talk about my skin removal surgery, but walking now is weird because I don't
Yeah, 'cause
have
you don't have
that.
less legs.
They
I can
took
only imagine.
three.
I'm looking at my
They
thighs right now.
they took 3.33 pounds off of my legs and of skin and fat or whatever, and it's like when I walk, my feet are way closer together and my knees hit each other when my knees didn't touch before because my thighs were touching. So it's just really weird. I still have, I don't have like a complete thigh gap, but we'll talk about that in detail. But it's just weird. Like my posture is trying to learn how to walk again. So I'm gonna, when he clears me next week, to at least just walk. And he said probably walk in light jogging, which I'm not gonna light jog until I feel really confident with my incisions. But I'm excited to get back to just being out in the sunshine with my dog, and I don't know, just activity. I'm this last, what has it been, 25 days have been like really hard for me. So
And it's a
yeah.
beautiful time of year to not be
So
able to
pretty.
not be able to be out and be
Like,
outside,
I
especially in North Carolina. Yeah.
want to go in the woods.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's temporary and it's worth it. So
Yep.
I'm doing
All right,
good.
our next goal was our personal goal of me working on a cookbook and Justy becoming a certified personal trainer. I will tell you, I'm missing the mark there too. I told Justy earlier, I was like, I'm missing the mark on all my goals. It is what it is. But the thing is, while I'm missing the mark, I'm missing what I had up here for a goal, and that doesn't always have to be. Yes, you have a goal for a reason. So us having these and us talking about these is for us to stay on track. Um, but so my goal was to work on a cookbook, and I still am working on a cookbook. I didn't say have one ready. I make recipes literally. I probably make, I don't even know, a dozen or so recipes, more than that, but that I actually write out at least 5 or so a month. So I'm still writing recipes every month. So that's kind of working towards a cookbook. But we started this business, this meal prep business. So that's kind of like taking my time away from what I would be doing to actually make the steps towards publishing an actual cookbook. So I do want to still do that. I am still building recipes for it, but there's other components to this cookbook. And I started some earlier in the year and I just have to pick them back up. I've got to pick it back up. I have to find the time, and I can tell you it's not going to happen the end of the year. I was talking to Justy about that too. Once we leave for bariatric retreat, the rest of my year is shot to shit. Like I'm traveling literally every week, whether it be for work or something personal. So I know I'm not going to be working on this the rest of this year, but I need to, when next year rolls around, find the time to actually put something towards that.
And
But
maybe even just say I'm going to put 2 hours a week,
yeah,
to the
yeah,
other components, or
right,
1 hour a week, or
right,
whatever. And maybe instead of a goal of getting it finished or whatever, just 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week. And that is
right,
my time,
right,
to do it.
right. And I
That's
think
what I'm doing
and
with
I
my
was going to say,
personal training.
yes, and looking forward to next year when we do get into talking about next year's goals. I feel like because I have so much going on, I almost need to start using a daily planner that breaks things down by the hour. I've not really ever had to do that before. I just knew what I had to do in a day and I would get it done. But now I feel like because I have these classes that I'm trying to go to, so I have to figure out like, am I dropping her off to school that day? Am I picking her up from school that day? Do I have a class? Is this where I can fit an hour into work on something like that? So I think a gift to myself this year is going to be some kind of a daily planner that breaks down by the hour. I feel like I need that, and not something in my phone, but I feel like I want a physical
Yeah.
something, and that's going to help me stay on target with things like that. So I
I
think
feel
that's
like
something
I
for me.
was thinking the same thing. Me, not the hour for me, because I don't have all that going on, but just like, okay, today these are the 3 things I'm gonna accomplish, because I'm a procrastinator until it has to be done. And so,
Same.
and you're the same way. So it's kind of like, okay, I need to, here's, 2 work things and 1 personal thing. I'm gonna not go to bed until I get done today, kind of thing. And like I have a running list and then just put those things on. I'm not a list person or a write down person either, so that's a big stretch for me. But I was talking to you earlier. I feel like I this year wasted a lot of time, but then also what's wrong with wasting time, because I have no responsibilities to anybody but myself and my job, and I'm doing my job well. So yeah, it's just kind of that's funny that you were thinking that too, because we think alike. For me, and my personal goal was become a certified personal trainer, which I've been taking the classes. I signed up for that when I was in the hospital, and then I'm on chapter 9, I think it is, of 27. It's harder than I thought. There's a lot of words. And I think I might have to make like flashcards or something, which, listen, I'm 47, almost 48 years old. I haven't studied in a long time, and my brain just does not, it doesn't work the way that it
It
did when I
doesn't
was.
retain the same. I'm with
No, it
you.
does
Yeah, it just
not.
does
Like, I'm
not.
a girl who never had to study for a test. I just had to listen to the content or read the book or whatever, and I just knew the information. Like, so easy for me. And it's not as easy for me now, but I am doing good. Like the little practice tests and stuff, I'm getting like, 80, 90%, stuff like that. But still, it's like a lot of it's just, I'm just guessing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh
Like,
shit.
well, that common sense is going to come into play here.
Right, right. And so it's a proctored test. And so I have to like go to a testing facility or whatever to take it. And I'm like, I sure the hell hope that I'm in a good at guessing. But and I'm not a dumbass, right? So
Right.
a lot of it is common sense. If you read but you got to read the whole question and read all the answers before you pick one. And I'm just not,
Right.
I'm just I don't know. So we'll see. But it
Yeah.
might be a 2 test thing, but we'll see.
But you're working on it,
I
and
am.
that's,
Yep.
and that's the important thing. Yeah. You're working on it, whether you pass or not. I think you'll pass, but
And I
whether you
have
pass or not.
my first test scheduled for the week before Thanksgiving. And so, if I don't pass it, then I'll do another one in December, and I'm sure I'll pass because
Yeah.
um yeah, so I'm on track with that one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then financial goal. Did I? Oh, I skipped over. I will go back to it. Financial goal was for Justin to replace the money spent on skin removal and for me to start saving money for skin removal. I'm gonna flat out tell you I haven't saved anything, but I have actually done some things to start to like, I don't shop like I used to shop. I don't, we were talking about that too. I don't get my nails done like I used to and whatnot. But I still still taking care of that kind of stuff, but I just don't do things like I used to. I don't frivolously spend money like I used to. That being said, I haven't put any of it into savings. It's just been reallocated into other bills or whatever else I have. But yes, I think a big part of skin removal for me is going to be actually getting this cookbook going and selling that. But aside from that, I do need to actually start saving. So, but I have step one was budgeting myself better. And I have done that. And I have a whole spreadsheet that shows what bills I have, when they're due, how much I'm making, where money's coming from. So I put, me with my little spreadsheets, I put together a spreadsheet so I know kind of where it's coming from, where it's going. And then I've just cut like the unnecessary spending. So step one, I'm there, but I haven't put anything away in savings, and I really do need to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I've done pretty well. It was a year and a half since my first surgery, and so I was able to save or put back into my bank the majority of that money. My first surgery was about $22,000 total when you put in my surgery, the flights, the aftercare, all of the stuff, right? So um I put most of that back in the bank over the year and a half, but then I just took out another 14,000 for my second surgery. So, but I did good. I could have just, continued to take more money and more money out of my savings. And I did not want to do that. So, and and it was not easy for me. I mean, we talked about this earlier. I do make a good living, but I mean, every time I was like, oh, I'll just like go to Starbucks. I'm like, no, I have coffee shops. Let me go to get my
I
free
do the
coffee
same thing.
and stuff
Yes.
like that so that I could put more money into um, back into my bank so that I did feel comfortable having surgery. Had I not done that, I would have been way more stressed out because I like to have a certain amount of money in my bank. And so yeah, so I feel like I did a really good job with that. Now it's just putting this $15,000 back. And that's going to be kind of my goal for next year. This year I'm probably not going to put much money back just because of the holidays and stuff. But next year I want to get that money back and then some. So because I don't have any more surgeries coming up. So I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do with my surgery fund instead is that's gonna be my little travel fund. So Africa, here I come again. Greece,
Yeah,
those are on my
perfect.
list. So yeah.
So yeah, that, and then lastly, because I skipped over it earlier, was our weight goals. 165 for me, 185 for Justy, and maintaining within 10 pounds of that. I'm more like 20 pounds right now, which, and Justy and I go back and forth. I texted her the other day. I was like, okay, because we tracked food. And here's the thing, this is why it's frustrating. We tracked food for months. I would say the majority of the summer.
Yeah.
Every day we send each other our plan back and forth, or like where we ended up, like, oh, I went a little bit over today or a little bit under today or whatever. And we were doing really good
Hmm.
and still maintain the same fucking
Yeah.
weight
Yeah.
as we are right now, not
Yeah.
tracking. And I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah, so I texted her the other day. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm tracking again. Like my weight is creeping into a place I don't like. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to get into the 190s. I don't want to be there. So I think I was 188.4 yesterday. I was 188.4 today again. And yesterday I had kind of a shitty day. And I didn't, my plan went off track, but like I was telling Jesse, I don't think I necessarily went over in like calories or anything, but it just didn't go the way it was supposed to. I had it all planned out. And then I had a small little fender bender, which held me up for my day and then just put me in a mood. And then I had a hayride with my daughter and her Girl Scout troop. And we couldn't have a fire because there's a fire ban. So I made these little s'more crispy treat things out of golden grams and deliciousness. And I ate two of those. But at the same, and then my plan was they were having hot dogs. We can't cook the hot dogs over a fire. So we were boiling them, which is
Gross.
gross. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
We're Girl Scouts, we're resourceful. We figure it out. And I was like, I really don't want to eat a hot dog anyway, because that just doesn't align with my goals. So my plan was to I was like, oh, I have wraps at home. I'll do like a crispy buffalo chicken wrap. I already know the macros on it because I eat that occasionally. I was like, that'll fit. I'll work that in. Well, I didn't have time to make it because I had to rush home after this dumbass accident that I had, finish these treats because I couldn't go without them. Like they were counting on me to have those. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to eat the hot dog. And I was like really pissed about it though. I'm like, son of a bitch, I have to eat the hot dog. So, but it's whatever. It's a hot dog. Well, come to find out, the our head leader, she bought chicken hot dogs. She's like, yeah,
Oh,
she's like, I saw this big pack of chicken hot dogs. She's like, don't tell the girls. I don't think they'll know the difference. I'm like, I don't think they will either. First of all, they're boiled.
didn't even know they made chicken hot dogs.
I didn't either. But
Okay.
I'm like, they were, and it was a big pack. It was like 20 hot dogs. I don't even know what the macros were on it, but I ate the hot dog. I ate it with a bun. I ate one of them, and I had she got like the small bags of like individual sized chips. I had a small bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, but that was not my plan. But I also was so busy yesterday, just running around trying to get stuff done and work. And I had several meetings yesterday, and then, picking her up from school and getting that stuff done, that I didn't have time to snack. There was no, it was like
Yeah.
my breakfast was meal prep, my lunch was meal prep, which was like veggies and chicken. So like I definitely didn't overeat. It just wasn't the choices that I had wanted to make. And so I'm really trying to get back to that place where I'm tracking everything, even if it's not, because a lot of times I don't do it because I don't know the exact, like, and you've said it before too, like I don't really know if because I don't eat the dressing. Like I planned this salad from Chick-fil-A, but I don't eat the dressing, and it comes, it's tracking it with the dressing. So it's not always going to be accurate, but at least it's like something I put down. I
Mhm.
put the effort into it, and I know that I'm close.
Right.
I'm close
And
to where I need to
it
be.
helps me because I'm paying attention to the macros more. I, stay within my calorie budget, but I'm trying to balance the macros a little bit more. And it helps me make better choices like, oh, well, my carbs are really high, so let me not have the bun here, but I'll have the piece of toast here. Like it just kind of helps me a little bit with that. And I'm not like super right now. Well, let me go back to that. My weight is it was 193 the day that I had surgery. And then with the swelling and everything, it went as high as 213 after my surgery. I was like, oh, swollen. I mean, I was really swollen. So I don't know what my weight's going to be because they took off 3.3 pounds of skin from my legs. But they also did liposuction on my back. I don't really know how much that was. But then they put implants in, which are
Implants, right?
these girls weigh something. And then they put the fat that they sucked out of my back, they put that into my butt. So they put 300 cc's in each butt cheek, and my implants are 400 cc's. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to balance out at, but I was 203 the last time I weighed. But that's with my faja, that's with all my stuff on too. That was not in the morning, whatever. But I'm not going to get back into my daily or, multiple times a week weighing until I'm back into the gym and I'm going.
Right.
And also my doctor, this is a slippery slope because they tell you not to be in a calorie deficit for 6 months after your surgery because your body is healing. You need to, especially when you have fat transfer, you want that fat to plump up and hold, that sort of thing. But not being in calorie deficit doesn't mean eat whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of women hear that and are like, ooh, like let's go crazy. And I'm really trying not to be like that. Um, so I was, up until my surgery, I was within my 10 pounds because my goal is 195 or 185. I'm around 193 to 197, literally for the last year. But now that my surgery is over, it's elevated due to a lot of different reasons. So, hopefully I'll, by the end of the year, get back to that kind of 190, 195 range and I'll be happy.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
aesthetically, I love like weight is a good goal, but aesthetically, I'm very happy with the way I look. Like, so,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. And and I'm not like, I still am wearing the same clothes. I'm not to a point where like I don't fit my clothes anymore or it's anything like that. But it's also, and that's why we do this, set these goals and have these goals like this. And I will always have a weight goal, not to beat myself up over it, but to just know that like we're in a red flag zone at this point.
Right.
Like I'm
Yeah.
approaching 190 and I just don't want to go back. I don't want to go that direction.
Yeah.
And and I was watching, actually it was, I think, the podcast I sent you yesterday. He was talking about how a lot of people are like, oh, muscle is heavier, weighs more than fat and whatnot. And he's like, there's some truth to that, but that's not really it. And I was like,
Mhm.
damn, he just like debunked that whole thing.
You're right. Your body does change. Like I know for me, I stayed the same weight pretty much the whole year. But I'm much more muscular. You like I
Right,
look different, right? So I'll take that over being 185 any day.
right,
Or,
exactly.
so it's kind of like what pleases you, and but I know that I'm very comfortable. When I think the lowest I ever got was 183. I was very comfortable at that, and I'm still really comfortable at 195 within that range. I'm not comfortable at more than that.
Right.
I'm just not.
Yeah,
So
once I
just
hit the 190s, that's it too. I'm like, nope, this is
right.
where I am no longer comfortable. So I'm like
Yeah.
right below that, and I'm like, no, no, no,
Uh-huh.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. And so the weight goal is kind of, and I like how we put a range on it. So I want to stay within 10 pounds of my range, which I've done, but it is still frustrating to be on the 10 pound of your range, the high end of that, and just doing all these things and you still aren't getting closer to the range, but we're still maintaining, and
Right.
we're still doing the thing, and I'm very proud of that. It was interesting when I was talking to my plastic surgeon. He was taking pictures of me, naked, and he was like, "Man, I just love taking pictures of people who've done so good." And I asked him, I was like, "Well, what's the percentage of people?" He's like, "A lot of people don't come back for round two because they've gained their weight." And he said it's like 15 to 20% of people come back and have their second round, like finish their plan. And that was just really hard. That was weird to me. And so I'm
To put
proud
that
that
much money out in round
yeah,
one just to
and
like,
the recovery and the pain and the it's not pain, but the uncomfort and the mental stress and the slight little depression you go in and that sort of thing. It's like, why would you do all that and then gain the weight back? I'm not being judgmental, but I'm proud of myself because I'm in that 15 to 20% of people who have lost their weight and kept it off, and also natural weight loss and kept it off, and have come back for round two of surgery and have a plan to keep it off for the rest of my life. Like that, to me, that's way better than a 185 on my scale, but that will be great too
right,
when I get there.
right, right. And I
Mhm.
think that we're at a point now in our journey where, yes, the number on the scale is data. It's telling us something, but it's more about how we feel.
Yeah.
And knowing that like I feel good, or we are that in tune with our body that it's like, okay, this is where I'm starting not to feel good.
Hmm.
Or and and when you think about it, it's like, yeah, like I definitely ate those cookies yesterday, or I definitely have been drinking more than I used to, because it was the same
Hmm.
thing with you when you were dating. You're like, no, like
Yeah.
I've been eating out a lot more and drinking more, and I'm not, I don't feel good.
Hmm.
And I
And
think
it's
that's where we're at.
that's something that I struggle with still, is kind of with my weight loss and all the energy and money and time I've put into my health and my body, basically, and my mind. Um, to It's kind of made me like an antisocial recluse because I'm a party girl. I mean, you know me. Listen, girl can have some fun, but I associate that with somebody who is unhealthy, and I need to figure out the balance because
Yeah.
I haven't figured that out yet. And so I'll go out to dinner with a guy or friends, and I'm like, well, it's all or nothing for me. Either I'm not drinking and I'm eating really healthy, or I'm gonna fuck it and just like have a bottle of wine and eat
Yeah,
the
it's really hard.
burger.
It is hard to find that in between.
It is like, because I want to be the person that's, oh yeah, I can go out and have fun and still eat healthy and whatever. It's not the same fun. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I make better choices when I don't have alcohol. But it just the dating thing is really hard for me. And all of the men that I have run into at my age, they want to take you out to dinner. They want to get a couple drinks in you. And it's kind of like it's just hard. It's just hard. I feel like I need to find a justy and a male that like really into health and this and that or what have you, because I can't I have not been able to balance that at all.
Yeah, into health, but also like able to go out and have a couple drinks every once in a while. A couple
Yeah.
of drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, but like yeah. So anyway, that's something I'm still working on, but I've sworn off men for the rest of this year anyway, so we'll pick it up in 2025.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's our goals. I mean, I feel like you're definitely well more way more on track than I am, but I don't think I am like off the rails either. It's just things have shifted for me, and I'm okay with
Yeah,
it.
it
I'm okay
happens.
with it. I don't feel like I'm in a bad place in my life. I don't feel like I'm in a bad place in my health journey. I just things shift. 365 days is a long ass time.
It is.
A lot
It
can
is.
happen in that time.
And I don't have, like I said, I don't have all of that pressure that you have with the husband and the kid and the job and the business and the Girl Scouts and the soccer. Like listen, that exhausts me just thinking about it. And I do not commit myself to anything anymore. I just don't, because it's like, I might be there. I might not, because I might and I might not. It's just,
Right.
I don't have that need that I used to have to be like the person that is the center of the social what have you, or the one who's planning it, or the one who's giving my all. I give it to myself now, and so it's just I live a very different lifestyle than I used to live when I had the kids and I had the husband and I had the friends and I had all the stuff. It's boring, but it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And speaking of uh committing to or not committing to, we are committed to going to bariatric retreat this year. So Justy and I
yeah.
will be there. So if you're there, come and say hi, find us. We did Justy did an excellent job. She whipped us up some business cards. So we'll have some business cards and we're gonna mix and mingle and have a good time. We are gonna have a few drinks. We're not gonna all or nothing it, but we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We'll be in San Diego.
It's
Hello.
not
So
gonna be a Jamaican cruise, Justy. There's video of that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it will be a little bit looser. I'm gonna get a little bit looser, so we'll see.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
have a good time. And we'll be like, and it's funny because while Justy hasn't had bariatric surgery, I still, in my mind, bariatric is the same as obesity, and so she hasn't had surgery, but she's still, it's her people. Like she's like, she
Yeah.
says, I feel like I found my people because we all struggle with the same thing. Some people just
Mhm.
chose to have surgery, and then people like Justy that didn't. And so,
Right.
but when she sits in a room full of these people, it's an incredible feeling to just be surrounded by people who get it, who get
Right.
what you've gone through. Some that have had
Mhm.
skin removal, some that haven't, some that want it. There's
Mhm.
actually breakout sessions. I don't know if you looked through the breakout sessions or not, but there's breakout sessions. There's one for skin removal.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just so many breakout sessions this year, and we'll probably go to some together. We'll probably split up for some because I know that
Mhm.
there's one on lipedema that I want to go to because I'm 1,000% sure that I have lipedema. Whole nother story. I want to learn more about it there, but there's a session on that. But there's so many different sessions, and it's not just that, it's the sessions that you're in. It's in between sessions when you bump into people. You're all at the same resort, so you see people. You're just all together. So think about like partner conference, right? But it's all
Yeah.
bariatric people. It's very
Mhm.
similar.
Yeah.
And so we get the chance to dress up. We get the chance to just have sit at a different lunch table that day, with
Mhm.
different people and mix and mingle and we'll
We
be
get
in
the
San
chance to
Diego.
like share our story too with other people and our journey, and to hear others to help each other motivate.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. We've talked about it 100 times before, is to find your support system, and you just never know um, when you're going to run into your next person, right?
Yeah.
So just being open to that and sharing our story and listening to other people's stories, I think is really important, because what we've done, whether it's through surgery or not surgery or what have you, or medications or whatever, it's pretty extraordinary to go from being morbidly obese to being not.
Obese according to the BMI,
Right.
whatever.
In order to being not, and to being very healthy and to be very strong. Only a small percent of people who have reached the 300-pound mark have ever gotten to where we've gotten. So I think that should be celebrated for sure.
And there's people that go to retreat that are pre-op. Like
Yeah.
Kim, our friend Kim, she came with me when she was pre-op, and then she came again post-op, but she's in Ireland right now, actually having like an amazing time. And
Nice.
seeing her pictures, I'm like, Jesus Christ, she's got amazing weather, and she's with her girlfriend, so I know she's having a great time. But she's unable to go this year because they're so close together, she couldn't swing
Yeah.
both.
Mhm.
But she went pre-op, and people
Mhm.
were like, hats off to you, because pre-op, a lot of us are still recluses. We still don't want to be in a place like that. But
Right.
she went because she just knew she could find the motivation, find her people, and she
Mhm.
loved it. She was like, "Oh my God, I want to go again." And she
Yeah.
wanted to go this year, but with the, I don't blame her. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
anyway, we'll follow our Instagram in November. We'll be talking more about that and posting
Yeah.
pictures,
And if you're there, come
and
tap us on the shoulder, say hi.
there will be no Jamaica drunk Justy pictures.
No.
So yeah, that's our goal.
All right. And there's no need to talk about self-care because we already did.
Yep.
So that's it. That's a
That's
wrap.
it.
We'll
Have a
see you
good
next
day.
time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.